Okay, so we are back. This is part 2 of Game 6 for both the Padres and the Angels. We are at Petco, trying to get the conclusion of this game. The Angels have just retaken the lead at 6-5 on an RBI single by C.J. Cron. The Padres had come back with a 3 spot in the 6th inning off of Hector Santiago. That was the end of his day, but he is in line for the victory if things continue this way. And we've got in Drelton Simmons coming to the plate against Michael Kirkman, and the Padres have been considering whether to pinch hit for, or not pinch hit, bring somebody in from the bullpen for Kirkman. But I think they are going to let him continue. So Simmons will go up against Kirkman here with 1 out. In the top of the 7th, 6-5 Angels. They're trying to extend their lead further with a runner at first. 1-5. That'll be a shortstop A ground ball, and that will be a welcome sign for Kirkman, as it will be a 6-4-3 double play and end the inning. So the Padres they concede the lead there on the RBI single. It's now 6-5. Going to the 7th inning stretch. Let's see. Hi, Derek. Derek does not hold high regards there for the Padres pitching staff, and I think there's plenty of reason to think that is true. But the bullpen especially, but especially when they're running on fumes, as this bullpen is. But it'll be Will Myers leading off. So he is a right-hander, so they will get a right-hander out of the pen. They will use... Ooh. So it's either going to be Smith. They're going to go with Cam Bedrosian. Bedrosian went an inning last game, so that's who they will use. -2 plus, so -1. Santiago went 6 innings. Both these pitchers went a while, but they... Bedrosian is a 5 injury guy, so keep that in mind. Finally hit pitchers here that have injury ratings. Both starters were going to go the whole season. So here we go. Will Myers against Bedrosian. Bottom of the 7th, Padres need a run to tie. Ballpark single. Hold your horses, 1-8. And that will be a liner to the shortstop, Simmons, for the first out. Matt Kemp, a double and a home run. He's 2 for 3. And Bedrosian gives up a single to Kemp. And Kemp, he had no triples last year, so he's a triple away from the cycle. By my theories, he would not be eligible to get a cycle. But so here's Betancourt. Kemp at first. He'll try to get a lead here. Needs a 2. Needs snake eyes. Doesn't get it, but also a chance at a balk on the D20. Of course, there's no chance at a balk because Bedrosian does not give up a balk in this season. So, no lead. Here is Betancourt. against a righty, 5-4 ground ball to third base. This could, well, I don't know. For E28, this may, we'll see what happens with this. This is Gregorio Petit. But an 18, that may be good. Let's take a look here. An 18 is very, very good. Does it catch the G1s? It does. 18 is a G1. Now the 28, 9 and 5 is 14. Shortstop, 28, or no, third base, 28 and 14. And that is going to be, oh wait, E28 and a 14. That is an E2. So G1, E2. Batter to second, runners advance 2 bases. Double check that. 2 base error on Petit, E5. I was going to use, I had thought about using Crone at third base, and I brought up Petit instead. And let me see something. Funny thing is, if I had used Crone, that would not have been, let's see, would it have been a G1 even? That would have been a G2, but it wouldn't have been a double play ball, but it would not have, also would not have been an error. So an E5, big error here. Here is Adam Rosales against Bedrosian. Bedrosian not happy. He made a meal of that, throws it into the desert, and against a righty, 5-2. Ground ball to second base. Boy, we're going to play the infield back, infield in. Guess they're playing the infield in. Ground ball to second base, X. The infield in, that is a potential problem here. 2E4. 2 and a 19, that should be okay. G1. And an 11. With an E4. 11, that's not going to be a problem. So G1 with the infield in, runners at second and third. Infield in, batter. Batter is out, runners hold. So a hot shot at Pennington, and Pennington makes the play after looking back the runners, and so 2 outs now. They're going to play back. They're going to face Alexei Ramirez. John Jay on deck. They don't want to face the lefty off against Bedrosian. And a 2-9. Ground ball to short, and guess what? The Angels will emerge from the spot without giving up a run. Hi, Rob Lopez. Oh, Ken, let's see. Let me see. Just trying to check back here. Hello, everybody who's here. We're in the top of the 8th. It is a 6-5 game. The Angels put up 4 in the first, right off the bat. Padres clawed back to get 2. Angels extended it 1 to make it 5-2. And then 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th made it a tie ball game. Then the Angels squeaked out a run in the top of the 7th. Now the Padres were unable to score after getting runners at second and third with 1 out, and they are going to go back to their pen for the 8th, and they got to figure out who is available. First off, that's question number 1. And they're going to go with Can't use Villanueva. They could use Quackenbush, Moore, Campos. They can't use Rodney. So they need Quackenbush, or they need Moore to close, just in case. So they're going to go with Lionel Campos. This will rule him out for the next game, because this will be 2 in a row. Injury 1, and he's a -1 hold, so -2. Kirkman went 1 inning. Did give up a run, but all in all did okay. He will probably not... Hi, Steve. So, Kirkman, that'll probably be his only appearance in this season. He had 1 inning pitched in real life. I think it's 1.1, so I used him a little more, and that's only because they're gassed. But Campos, he's able to pitch this one. So it'll be Cole Calhoun, Mike Trout, Albert Pujols. Campos is going to try and keep this a 1-run game. And Baseball Reference and MLB Pipeline are tweeting about the Padres at the moment, if anybody's interested. I just got that coming across. Yes, these are 2016 cards. Rob. Cole Calhoun. 2-9. And boy, this has been a hotbed for triples. 1-5 triple. It'll be a single for Calhoun. Not the start Campos was looking for. Here's Mike Trout. And the main D6 goes off. 5-6 against a righty. And he strikes out Trout. That's a big out there. Here's Albert Pujols. 0 for 2 with a walk. Yeah, bring in. There's a bunch of guys you need to bring in. Better than these. Better than these fellas. 6-8. Against a righty. Fly ball to center field. That's a B. I'll show you here. 6-8. These are printed out by the computer. Fly ball to center field B. That'll be the second out. And Petit has a chance maybe to make amends for his error last inning. You know what? With Petit at the plate, some 2-star stuff. He's gonna let Calhoun try to get a lead here. They're not holding him on. It'd be 1-11 if he gets the lead with Campos on the mound. Oh, and it's an 11. Oh boy, I think that's the first time I've ever had that happen. In all these games I've played so far, I have not had where I've hit the back number of that, which means he's automatically out. So that's going to be a 2-4 caught stealing. Calhoun gets gunned out at second base, and that's going to end that half of the 8th. No runs. So, let's see. Bedrosian, he's coming out. Be Mike Morin. And these guys can go pretty decent for the Angels because they have a day off. The Padres also have a day off, so I guess I shouldn't be too concerned about overusing these guys, but still, Campos pitched a pretty good inning there. The caught stealing helped. So Morin, -5 hold guy. Bedrosian went 1 inning. 5 batters. Morin is where are you? A 1 injury. Cool. Cool, Bob. So here's the thing. Since it's the bottom of the 8th and I have a short break, I am ready to go with my own History Maker season. I'm going to do a 10-team league like I'm doing here. I'm probably going to roll the games offline, though, because I have to play through a few times. I've played a couple of games of History Maker, but I have to see how best it would work. I've definitely watched baseball demos, play it some. I really need to see how best to incorporate that into the game day of doing like a YouTube video for it, because I think it's better. It's probably going to be better for YouTube than Super Advanced. Like I hate to say it because I do like doing these Super Advanced games, but I would say from a standpoint of being able to put a smaller project out here, like not a smaller, but these videos are all an hour long at least, and so I don't know how that really comes off in YouTube. I know you guys like hanging around and talking to each other, and I love the fact that these allow you to do that. I mean, you guys clearly, like Bob asking about how someone's family member's doing, and we've had like Mike McAllister around who has gone through some personal health stuff. It's great that we've had a community built. I'm not always able to participate in that chat as much as I'd like because I kind of get so focused in the games here, but I think History Maker on that sliding scale of made for YouTube, that's probably slightly towards the better side than Super Advanced. I think Super Advanced is probably one of the tougher ones to be able to do consistently on YouTube, because there's just so many moving parts in it. There's so many extra checks. There's so many specific rules. It's really just, basic. I think basic strat. I haven't watched enough of the other games, but ATBA, it seems to be a breeze. It seems really built well for games on here. You rattling off the results as you go. Not a whole lot of extra bells and whistles and hoops you have to jump through. So, but anyway, I've got that figured out. I built the teams up to where I wanted them. Now I just have to, as far as like, I had to do that with this league, figuring out where players come in and out and all that kind of stuff. There are a couple of teams that are crossovers from this. Again, it was just randomly picked, so I ended up with the Yankees in there. I ended up with the Athletics in there. Let me see, who else? I think the Angels are in there too. And the Blue Jays. Somehow I got 4 teams. And the other thing that I got in this was, I think I have 8 AL teams and 2 NL teams. The NL teams are Milwaukee and Philadelphia. The Phillies are in there. Again, randomly done. I think it's the White Sox, the Astros, the Royals, the Angels, the Yankees, the Brewers, the Twins, the Phillies, the Athletics, and the Blue Jays. So those are the teams that are going to be in that league. So like I said, I'm not sure how much I'm going to put on YouTube or when it will. So, okay, let's get on with the game here. Mike Morin in here to face John Jay. The pitcher spot will be next. And then top of the order with Melvin Upton. So here is Mike Morin trying to hold the game here, the 6-5 lead. And he comes right out and he beans John Jay right off the bat. Not the way you want to start it. Now the Padres, they could try to play some small ball here and move Jay up via the bunt. Not a very good steal threat. They've got Corey Spangenberg who could come in and he could bunt or he could hit. He's got some good good stuff there. You got Brett Wallace, who's more of a slight power guy. You got Amarista, who could single the heck out of the ball at times. 257 average, so not a ton, but against righties, he's probably up there closer to 280. Let's see, what are we going to do? Let's go with Spangenberg, and let's have him try and bunt for a hit here, or at least, bunt. We'll see if he can get a hit out of it. Not a lot of power in this. Why? So I'm gonna try and sacrifice here with Spangenberg, and maybe hope you can get a speed roll, because his speed's 1 to 15. He's from the town next to you. Interesting. When you do these games, Earl, could you chat up a quick up? Okay, that's what we could do. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, 6 to 5. I guess sometimes I either gloss over it or don't. So they're gonna expect him to bunt. So they're gonna be playing with the corners in. They're gonna go ahead. He's gonna be a B bunter. Let's get it done here. And a B6. 6 may be defense. I think 6 usually is defense. Sure enough, it is. John J. Running speed -4. 13 -4 is 9. It's the first baseman, Pujols. He's a 4 rated first baseman. So basically he's 1 to 13. They are not going to take any chances on this. It's going to be a sacrifice. 3, 4. Runner's going to move up, but they definitely want to forget about the opportunity that, they don't want to have any chance where they don't get the lead runner and Spangenberg reaches. And then you got 2 guys on with nobody out. So that brings up Melvin Upton. Melvin Upton Jr., he is 1 for 3. Runner at second. 6-5. Angels on top, 5-8. Against a righty, that's going to score the run. Boy, that decision works out wonders here. 1 to 2 would be a double. That is a single 2-star. In comes John J., and the ball game is tied again at 6. Jamile Weeks. Not a very good hitter. Let's see. Upton's going to try to get a lead here. Morin, well, you know what? Morin's a -5. Tempted to go ahead and bunt again with Weeks here. He's a B bunter. Yeah, let's go ahead and have him swing away here. 2-7. He's going to get injured. How about that? Strikes out. Potential injury. We use Spangenberg. We might just leave Spangenberg in here. Injury, a 10, means he will have to come out. He's going to be injured 2 games. Let's write it in here. So that's the second out. And here is Will Myers with Upton. Does 2? Yes, it does. Here is Will Myers. Runner at first. Again, kind of would like to try and get Upton to go to second, but let's... With that, Morin is a -6 hold, and the catcher is +1, so it makes it -5. Really de-incentivizes that strategy, so that's another strikeout. Gets Myers, and that's 3 for Myers. And Morin gives up the tying run. Weeks is out of the game. They're going to continue Spangenberg at second base. That was kind of fortunate for us that we... I mean, we could have... It's a good thing we didn't use him here first in the first pinch hit role, because if we had, then... This would be second base in the ninth, so pinch hit in the eighth. Again, he was at 15. I forgot to write it down. So we're going to do pitcher 4. Campos went 1 inning, 3 batters. So Spangenberg, 4E68, not exactly what you would call a gold glover at second. He has a propensity to throw it into the ionosphere. So, but let's see who is next. So top of the ninth. You got more. Brad Hands is unavailable. Rodney is, well, they're not unavailable. They would start out tired, so they're going to go with Brandon Moore. They want to try and get as much into this as they can. They have a day off tomorrow. Injuries and Strat are killers. Yes and no. They frustrate me at times based on having this, especially the pitcher injuries. They are definitely frustrating for me. I like being able to use other guys. I think that's kind of neat. I don't know about you guys, but at least for me, I like to have some variety. I mean, within reason. You can't have tons of variety. I think that's going to be overboard. But, so, the Padres cannot have a save situation past the ninth inning, so they might as well use Moorer here. And I just got to double check his... Yeah, he has a 0 injury. So, let's see, what do the... So they have Choi, they have Perez, they have Javatella. Shane Robinson are still available off the bench for the Angels. Now they have Escobar is the guy who is out. What they could do is move Pennington to third if they wanted to use Javatella to pinch hit for Petit here. But they're going to use Petit because he's got a little bit of pop. He's weak, but he does have a little bit of pop. You can see that 3-6. He's got a chance at a homer. So here is Petit leading off the ninth for the Angels. 6-6. That's a ground ball to Spangenberg just in the game. And that is 1 out. Cliff Pennington. Going to see a lot of him as the second half comes in here because... especially the end of the second half, Javatella gets out of the team and Pennington plays a lot. So Pennington against a switch hitter. He's batting from the left side. 5-5, strikes out. Are we going to have extra innings here again? That is looking more and more likely. Giovanni Soto. 2 outs. And there's 5-6 against righty. That's a fly ball to right field. And Upton Jr. makes the catch. We're going to go to the bottom of the ninth. More 1-2-3. We may use him another inning. We'll see. Thinking about it. Let's see. Morin is a 1. And he pitched the day before. Can't use Rasmus. Let's see, they got Kemp, Betancourt. They're going to use Joe Smith now, the Angels. Again, I'll tell you what, when you keep score in Strat PC, it really heightens your awareness of when you're overusing a pitcher. Like here, which one was it? Oh, it was Shields. This is gonna flag me. He's gonna be probably like 120 pitches here, and Shields is probably rated for 100, and so it's just gonna stick out like a sore thumb. But you know, sometimes you just get into it and you feel like, you know, he's doing well, so you're gonna be less likely to want to take him out. Now, Joe Smith, he's a 2. All right. Bottom of the 9th. This is where the games start to slow down a bit, and that's just a fact of doing pitchers hitting and all that stuff. Lots of changes. Matt Kemp against Joe Smith. Can he end it here? 2-12. Ground ball to the pitcher. Boy, he just about did it. A couple of home run shots there. Ballpark home run, but that's going to be a ground ball right back to Smith, and Smith makes the play. Christian Betancourt. And that is a 3-4. Ballpark single chance. 1-8. It's a 13. That'll be a liner to the shortstop, Simmons, and that is the second out. Adam Rosales now. And both teams are going to be in preserving not only their pitching stabs right now, but the bench too. Their pinch hitters are going to be run out here. 2-6 strikes out, and we're going extras again. This series has produced its second extra inning affair. I must have rigged it that way. I'll tell you, boy, it's really tough to rig these things, but actually it's very easy for me. But how high do the error ratings go? Good question. Well, you have to look at Super Advanced to find out, because pitchers go up to 20, or no, pitchers go up to 51, catchers 16. In the outfield, 25 for left and right, as well as center. You don't encounter as many errors in the outfield. Oh, there you go. Tribe fans got them for you. The middle infielders are where you get a lot of them. Yeah, what are we going to do? Yeah, we're going to go ahead and use Moore for a second inning of relief here. He got through the 9th quickly, and so here is Nava. I'm going to close my comments here. Nava will face Moore, and he strikes out. He is 0 for 4 with a walk. Now, pitcher's spot. They will bring in, they're going to bring in Ji-Man Choi. Pinch hit. In the 10th. Almost wrote 9th, but it's the 10th. Lefty against righty. Trying to get a matchup here. Maybe get one off of Moore's left-hand side. So here's Choi. 3-4. Ballpark home run chance for a lefty. 1-7. Tougher for lefties at Petco. Will Ji-Man Choi knock it out of here? And no, he does not. That will be caught at the warning track by Melvin Upton Jr., and that is the second out. The pinch hitter almost made him pay. It's So here is Simmons after that long out. And against a righty, a 4-8, that is a pop out to short. 1, 2, 3 for more, and that will be it for him, I would imagine. That's about as far as a setup closer is going to go. No runs in the top of the 10th, and let's see, Joe Smith. Same thing. He went 3 and out there with in the 9th, so we will reuse him. Wait, no, we can't use him again. Never mind. My bad. P3, P4. I think that's right. He came out for he gave way for the pitchers, so now we've got to go with Alvarez is the only guy besides Street. So what we would probably do, here'll be my likely, this will likely be my strategy for the Angels. So the 10th, though, we'll use Alvarez. He might go 2 innings if he gets through it quickly, gets through the 10th quickly. After that, they will probably go to Street. If they ever get it, well, first off, if they ever get a lead going into the bottom of an inning, they will use Street. If they have to use him next, which he will be next in line, then you have to go to 2 guys who would be spent going there. And Salas would be your closer. You need to have a closer guy, or else there's automatic. Of course, Salas is going to automatically be tired anyway. So, but anyway, it's going to be Jose Alvarez. He's the last guy they have. He's a lefty. That's my thinking here. Joe Smith goes 1 inning, and again, he came out, so he could not go another. Alvarez 0 and +1, so it's going to be +1. They have a chance to run maybe here. And, oh yes, also have to remember that Spangenberg was brought into the pitcher spot, and so the pitcher spot is actually moved up to the number 2 hole. And Alvarez for the Angels is a 1. So here we go. Bottom of the 10th. You might want to get your popcorn around and maybe some no-dos. We could be here a while. Alexei Ramirez against the lefty Alvarez. 2-5 and a single to lead off for Ramirez. John Jay. Going to try the hit and run again. They're going to be holding Alexei Ramirez on, otherwise he would get a free go at second base. So they're holding him. It's going to be a B hit and run here for John Jay. Lefty-lefty matchup. And a 2 on the D20 saves a potential. Oh, actually, boy, it does not. That would have been a single 2-star, but a 2 on the D20 means we have to check for either a balk or a passed ball. It would be a balk. There's no balk rating, so we will again go with the hit and run. He's a B hit and run guy because the runner's being held on, and a B5. So we use the hit and run chart because it's a 1, 2, or 3. B5, single 2 stars. So now, Angels are in a world of hurt here. Brings up Spangenberg. They're going to play with the infield in here, the outfield in. They want to face Spangenberg lefty-lefty. Although Alvarez's card isn't very good against lefties either, so 3.45 ERA though, so not not too shabby, but still. Here we go. Spangenberg against Alvarez. Infield, outfield, in. They've got to cut off some runs here. And a 4-5 against a lefty. Fly ball to left field B. That is going to be a single, as when you play the outfield in, consider all fly ball A's or B's, single with a runner on third scoring. So that is the ball game. Single for Spangenberg. In comes Ramirez. Ball game is over. I guess I jinxed it when I said you should get things, get your, whatever I said, get ready because it could be long. Instead, this is over. The Padres take 2 or 3 from the Angels. I wouldn't call that a huge surprise. They are going to win some games in this season, but man, I'll tell you what I thought. I thought early in the game when the Angels got out 4-0, and I just had this Mets 22-0 game the other day. I thought to myself, man, this is not going to be good. Things are just going. But 7-6 is your final 10 innings. Spangenberg with the game-winning RBI, walk-off single. We'll move Jay up to second just for good measure there. And so the Angels, they dropped to 500. They are 3-3. Padres are at a robust 2-4 for them. They are thrilled at that result. They lose Jamil Weeks for a couple games. Jamil Weeks, I think is how you say his name. But that being said, they're going to get Yangervis Solarte back here pretty soon. But they're both going to get the day off tomorrow. So they'll be, the Angels will lick their wounds. The Padres will go have a nice night out on the town, celebrate their victory. And we'll be back for a Yankees game here at some point in the near future. Yankees and who are the Yankees against? Oh, the Pirates. Yes. Pirates at 4 wins, 1 loss. So, a good matchup there. That will probably be Liriano and Tanaka, my guess. So, anyway, let me check the comments real quick. Rob, yes. Thank you. Win it for the region, Spangenberg. That's right, yeah. Learn what an immaculate inning is. Wow. Immaculate innings. Yeah, the quote about... Now I remember the quote you're talking about, Derek, about their bullpen. Yeah, but... baseball such a great sport because it takes so many games because I think it's just so much parity. You look at it and... When it comes down to percentages, there are very few teams. Like, there were some people saying, they might only they get more than 7 wins. I think, it's historically bad to get under 10 wins, I would say, in this season. So, this is a good result for the Padres, and they will take it and run, so to speak. You're welcome, Ken. I hope all is well with you. I hope all is well with you, Tribe fan, and Derek as well. Again, last thing I will mention before I go here. I appreciate corrections. It's something. I'll be perfectly frank with you. This is something that in my life altogether has been a tough thing for me to deal with. I remember as a kid having trouble with being told that I was wrong about something. Maybe this is a normal human reaction. I don't know. It seems like other people don't have this problem the same way that I do. A lot of times I get miffed when something's pointed out to me mostly because I'm miffed at myself that I got it wrong. And so that's not the attitude to have when you're going to go and put something on YouTube where you have the whole world watching you. You have lots of people looking for you to get things right because you're doing this for everybody to see. When you don't get those things right, then you start losing. You may lose a slight amount of credibility. So I understand, and I'll tell you what, I've had a variety of reactions from myself to people when they bring up corrections. Sometimes it hasn't been so graceful. Derek got about 20 people through stat class. Yeah. I mean, Derek, I'm talking to you somewhat. I hope that I'll tell you, when I first saw your comments, I don't know. I'm learning. Please understand, I'm learning. I appreciate you correcting me on that because it seems minor to me, and it seemed minor to me at the time, but again, it's a credibility thing. And like I said, it's a significant figure problem. That calculation, it was extrapolated in a way that is not the 6 times 6 times 6. It was, I had determined, I have a spreadsheet on Google Docs that has, it's got the calculation for each roll, like the percentage. So I had calculated the percentage of times when you roll 2 dice that you will get a 6-6, so a 12 total. So from there, I divided that, which was I think 2.78. I divided it by 3 and it got me the number. But because I was using the piece of paper and I was writing it down, I truncated it to 2 decimal places. And so then when I did when I did the division, the significant figures nailed me. Because 220 is when you have a 2 decimal place. So this is here's a math lesson for you aspiring mathematicians or whatever. If you divide something by something that has, let's say, 2 decimals, if you try to report out more than 2, you're going to be inaccurate. You're going to be close, but you can only report out to the significant digits you have. So, and that actually what you could do is if you're going to round, you could round up to the third. So if I rounded that up and said, okay, I'm going to divide 100 by 0.46, you can round up to 220. That's okay. That is, and especially if you're going to say it's a rounding. But to be exact and say 217, again, that's just opening yourself up for... And as a scientist, I should know this. Instead, I was a little quick. I also got a comment that I was very unprepared, probably because I somewhat... I don't completely ad-lib it, but there is some ad-lib to what I do. I don't like to have a script and be robotic and tell you guys, this is the way you run your lineup changes. I don't try to do that. So I may be unprepared compared to, Anderson Cooper, who's got something he's reading, a teleprompter. But yeah, I was riffing there, and when I riffed, my calculation was off, and I'll own it. It was it was close, but it wasn't exact. And again, it was derived in a way that was more complicated than it needed to be because I was going off of something that was built for a different task. So in any regard, I know this has been a long time. Bob. So Bob says that yes, I am human. Last time I checked. Yep. I'm not, again, that's what I'm trying to do. Well, Derek, I'm not going to repeat that, but I would say that could be, depending on whether you take it literally or figuratively or whatever, yes, you're probably right about that. as someone who just I put out an expletive there in my last, so the shame Earl, you I let an S bomb out there. I broke the Pacifica ruling. Yeah. So again, I don't try to get political here. I don't want to dissuade anybody. There's a variety. Like I'll be friends with just about everybody. Well, follow anybody on Twitter. The Tenacious Strat account follows a lot of people, and a few of those people are very liberal. They are very against the current president, and I just keep my mouth shut and whatever. There's a lot of people. It's funny. When I wasn't thrilled with the president, I had to keep a smile on my face and be happy that the country was going down the tubes. And now the country's come back some, and the people who were upset that I was upset about the country going down the tubes now have the they've got things up in the circle ready to go. They're ready for high noon with the president and probably the vice president too. So it's an interesting time, and I don't want to upset anybody who. What I probably just said may upset somebody, but again, in an age where tolerance has been preached for decades now, we have preached tolerance of opposing viewpoints. We have people out there now who are intolerant of anything that does not agree with theirs. And we're talking about the people who were preaching it. These are the people who preached social justice and social, anyway. So I guess what I'm saying is, again, everybody's got their own viewpoint. Hey, if you don't like the president, great. Forward things, all that stuff. If you're going to talk about impeachment, get your evidence, and all that good stuff, and then we'll talk. I mean, I'm open for discussion. I'm not going to shut anybody down. But don't expect me to be quiet about it either, especially in 8 years and the president changes and it goes back to being a Democrat. And then again, you can't question ever that person. Yeah. So anyway, that's where I'm at. And yeah, I'm getting a little emotional about this. I may get some comments. That will probably earn me at least 3 or 4 thumbs down. But I think I'm hoping what I said was fair. This is not. I'm not endorsing our president as a person who, I hope everything he's done is right. I don't know that for a fact. I don't know that he has. I just don't know. So I'm going to support our country. Our country is being led by somebody who I voted for, I thought would make things better and start to, and he has. So far he's done well. If there's evidence that he's broken the law in order to get this result and all this stuff, or if he's, then fine. I'm gonna, just like I probably supported certain things with George W. Bush, and then they came around and it looks like that probably wasn't so good. I'll own it. So anyway, let's not get let's not get any further. But I am a guy who has come probably closer to center than I ever have been in the last decade. And so I think I would say personally Donald Trump will do that to you in a way. He is not your traditional Republican. And so he's just going to make you think about things a little differently. And so that's what I've done. Some people don't like it, but they don't like it because their party isn't in power. And that's the reason why this is all going on. It's not because of Trump. If he had been, I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to go any further. So that's, I'm not worried. Yeah, I'm not worried so much about other people's. Yeah, I do, but I shouldn't, and I won't. But anyway, all right. I'm gonna get off of here and get off the soapbox. And I'm definitely not the most knowledgeable person when it comes to current events and all of the intricacies of foreign policy and all of the inner workings of the government. So you've got that on me if you've got that. And so I usually just don't say much, especially on social media. I don't comment on stuff political anymore. I don't forward political stuff anymore. Number one, if I need a job at some point, I don't want that there hanging around. And people might be able to dig back farther and find my political views. You might be able to find it here. But I think my approach is relatively reasonable. I'm going to support somebody, but I'm not going to support them unconditionally. They had better follow through. They had better be of the law. And so far, I think that's the case, but you never know. So, as long as that doesn't change, I think things are fine. If that changes, if there's some smoking guns that come out, then I think if that happens, this country is in a world of hurt. We are going to be in big trouble, because I think, I think it's going to be a very difficult time. We're at the precipice of losing our healthcare system, and it's already going to hell in a handbasket. But I think you might have a chance of helping things out here, but the next step is probably going to be government health insurance, and as far as single payer, and who knows where that's going. Again, I'm not so versed in all of that, but we're going to be taxed. So anyway, Mike says go Mets. Mike is sick of hearing about politics. So yeah, Mike, if you didn't hear, those Mets, they took a beating out on those Orioles. So unfortunately for the Orioles, they met the buzzsaw. So all right, I'm gonna catch out of here. I've got to get going. Need to get baths. Need to get kids to bed. School tomorrow. Work tomorrow. Thanks a lot. Appreciate all you guys watching and supporting the channel here, Tabletop Baseball. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Like the video if you like it. If you don't like the politics, you can dislike it. I'm gonna understand if you're that way. Everybody's built their own way, and that's the great thing about this country, is we pretty much all get along most of the time. So it's just a very, 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 very small segment that perpetrates a lot of the junk in this country, and we got to remember that. We got to stick together. And I have last political thing, I have long held that the divisions in this country are created because they don't want us to realize that 80 to 90% of us are in this middle class portion that are working and living paycheck to paycheck. So that's why they've got to get this in here and get all this friction between the things that are just so secondary to our economic well-being. If we could figure that out, we could tell those rich guys to go have fun with their money and hire us. And we could tell the poor people, you know what, we need to figure out ways to help you guys out too and get jobs and all this stuff. But we, instead, and because I think this portion here is pretty reasonable. This 80 to 90%, a lot of common sense people. and instead we can't get there. And I think Trump drew a lot of that in, and I think that the powers that be are really unhappy with that. I think they're really, and I don't think that's just on one side of the aisle. I think both sides. And so there you go. I think that you've got people that are right, that don't like that these middle class, everyday people are starting to think alike, starting to think, man, these politicians don't have it out good for me. You know, they're kind of out for themselves. And so this is where this is the territory we've gotten into, and they are frightened. So anyway, good night, guys. Strat on. Have a great day, and I'll let you know when we got some more stuff coming down the pike here. Thanks a lot.